Family Ties is a domestic comedy series that aired on NBC for 7 great seasons, a total of 176 episodes, and I think one movie in somewhere in the middle of the series. The series spans over close to 7 years, first airing in September of 1982 and shooting its last episode in May of 1989. I believe if Gary Goldberg was alive today, that he deserved a huge pat on the back for creating such an entertaining series that made us all cry and laugh, all while bringing awareness to topics that we all face from time to time, either personally or through someone close and dear to us. Topics such as what we've seen in Season 1, Episode 6, where Mallory faced the advances of a dear family friend and old business associate of her dad. And Episode 10, about the Keatons contemplating purchasing a gun to protect their home after it was burglarized. Then in Season 2, Alex was popping diet pills so that he can stay alert during midterms. Season 5, episodes 23 and 24 was about dealing with death of a loved one and overcoming depression when his Alex friend died. And of course, Season 6, episode 9, that covered Alzheimer's disease, which we know is wide in America. So awareness is needed on these topics. The show had such a refreshing balance of real life situations and just enough humor to keep the show light yet touching, bringing about that change of emotions from episode to episode. At least for me, that's what it did. The sitcom also was performed by an A-list cast, starting with Michael Gross. He played the loving and supportive father. He was an argumentative ex-hippie working as the branch manager of a fictional PBS TV station. And though he did Family Ties, that wasn't his first act, and it definitely wasn't going to be his last. I mean, he played Burt Gummer, an eccentric survivalist in the 7 Tremors movies, as well as the 13-episode TV series of Tremors. And based on his other screen appearances, it is very safe to say that he was not a typecast actor. I mean, he's played all kinds of roles, from a sexual predator in Night Court. Do you remember that one? I loved Night Court. To a murderous bank robber in The Line of Duty, the FBI Murders. And he also made appearances in shows like How I Met Your Mother, SVU, which is one of my favorites. He played in ER and even dabbled in soap opera, The Young and the Restless, one of the top soap operas. And after his last film, Jobwise, one of the Tremor movies, he has had a heightened interest in trains. He joined the Santa Fe Railway Historical Society, and currently he's a spokesperson for the Model Railroad Industry Association. Then we have Meredith Baxter Burney. She played the role of Elise, the loving and doting wife of Stephen Keaton, and she was a successful independent architect trying to find that happy balance between being successful at her career and being a loving and caring wife and mother to her hubby and her 3 children, later 4 children. She one of her first appearance was on an episode of The Partridge Family as Jenny, and she also played a recurring role as a character on Bridget Loves Bernie, which is where she met her second husband, David Burney, whom she divorced after 15 years of marriage and had 3 kids from. Now, later on along the line, she made a claim that abused her physically and emotionally. Of course, he denied. That's before he died. She also starred and appeared in a slew of films. Since the end of the show in 1989, she's made either appearances or starred in many, many more films, such as the well-known TV movie A Woman Scorned, the Betty Broderick story. She also played in a couple of episodes as Michael J. Fox mother again in Spin City. She played a regular role in The Faculty And like Michael Gross, who also shares a complete birth date with her, she also graced the soap opera screen as a recurring character, Maureen Russell, from September until December of 2014. She also had her own cosmetics line, Simple Works, which raised funds for her breast cancer research foundation. Now, there isn't much information on her past that, except of the fact that she was serving as a speaker, a public speaker. Michael J. Fox, that's the one who stole the show because, as you know, the show originally was supposed to focus on the parents and how they rear their children coming out of the 60s into the 70s and the 80s. Also to note is that Matthew Broderick was the very first one that they wanted to cast as the role of Alex Keaton, but he couldn't accept, and because of that, they then went to Michael J. Fox. Me personally, I can't imagine anyone else playing Alex Keaton but Michael J. Fox. I mean, Matthew Broderick has kind of have the look, but I just don't think he would have been able to do the character justice like Michael J. Fox. I mean, Michael embodied his character as the ambitious briefcase carrying Republican who focused on money, money, money. And he often clashed with his ex-hippie parents' liberal views. And on multiple episodes, he's seen engrossed in his favorite reading material. Guess what that was? The Wall Street Journal. After Family Ties, Michael went on to star in many popular TV and big screen films. Spin City was one of them. He played Mike Flaherty for 4 of the 6 years on air. Then he starred in Back to the Future trilogy as Marty McFly. Another good note here is that we almost didn't see him as Marty McFly because what was his name? Zemeckis. He wanted Michael J. Fox, but Gary Goldberg refused to allow Michael to work on Back to the Future because he had just lost Meredith because she was on maternity leave, and he felt that Alex was needed to carry the show, right? So they went ahead and they let Eric Stoltz play the part as Marty McFly. He had actually already begun filming, but apparently he wasn't giving the character what Zemeckis wanted for the character. So immediately when Baxter returned to Family Ties from maternity leave, they scooped up Michael J. Fox and replaced Eric Stoltz with Michael J. Fox. Yahoo, because that Michael J. Fox again embodied the character of Marty McFly. I just can't see anyone else doing that part. That just goes to show you what type of actor Michael J. Fox is. He also played in The Secret of My Success as Brantley Foster, and of course that made-up identity, Carlton Whitfield, the new executive. And he also did some voiceover roles in the Stuart Little films and Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Now, after a very fulfilling, successful run, he earned 5 Emmys, 4 Golden Globes, 2 Screen Actors Guild, and 1 Grammy. All of that. He was very successful in the acting business. But he retired 2 years ago due to the effects that Parkinson's was having on his overall health. Today, Michael J. Fox, though struggling with his health issues, along with spending quality time with his wife, which is his Family Ties girlfriend, Tracy Pollan, of 34 years, he's advocating for finding a cure for Parkinson's disease, a disease of which he was diagnosed of having in 1991. He founded Michael J. Fox Foundation in 2000 to fund research for Parkinson's, and he recently, this year, received the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award for all the efforts he's made in fighting Parkinson's disease. He raised over $1.5 billion through the foundation. And according to CBS News, he also helped fund 20 early-stage therapeutic programs, many clinical trials, and he has also built an impressive robust data set and biosample library for the research of Parkinson's, and a whole lot more he's done. But I want to end with him saying that we feel your pain, Michael J. Fox, and we want you to know that you've been one of the greatest male actors to grace our television screens. So you go ahead and continue to be strong. Moving on to Justine Bateman. She played the role of the eldest daughter of two, Mallory Keaton. She was a materialistic student solely interested in fashion and gaining the interest of boys. Typical teenager, right? And she was also, from time to time, a nuisance to her big brother, Alex. Now, after Family Ties, Justine went on to play notable recurrent roles on shows such as Desperate Housewives, Men Behaving Badly, and Arrested Development. She recently also tried her hand at directing and writing, with her first book hitting shelves in 2018. It was entitled Fame, The Hijacking of Reality, and her second book in 2021 entitled Face, One Square Foot of Skin. And that last book, which is so sad to me, is she was inspired to write it because she said when she went to search for herself online, all that would come up was Justine Bateman looks old. And she said it really did a number on her. It took her a while to get over that. And at the end of that journey of trying to get past it, that's what she did. Wrote that 2021 book entitled Face, One Square Foot of Skin. Another fun fact about Miss Bateman is that she's a licensed pilot. And I find that just odd because I can't help but get her Mallory character out of my head. And it just seems like, wow, Mallory, a licensed pilot. Who knew? Moving on to Tina Yothers. She played the youngest daughter, Jennifer Keaton. She was a tomboyish brainiac who, unlike her older brother and sister, agreed with her parents' liberal views. I mean, she was cast as a tough gal with a bit of a sweet side, which she wasn't ashamed of showing when it was necessary. And though she's been acting since she was age 3, like in some advertisements and things like that, and she did play a significant role as Beatrice in Michael Landon's Father Murphy series, but her famed role was her role as Jennifer Keaton here on Family Ties. And since the ending of Family Ties, the now black-haired Yothers has been busy writing books, among other things. She wrote a book entitled Being Your Best, Tina Yothers' Guide for Girls, and she returned to her passion of music. She spent a lot of time on her music. She formed the band Jaded with her brother and some other guys, and she was the lead vocalist on there. She also dabbled in acting off and on since Family Ties. She made appearances in films such as Lovelace the Musical, The Weakest Link Game Show, Celebrity Fit Club, Married with Children as herself. And today, the 48-year-old, she's married to her husband, Robert Kaiser, I think it is, and she has 2 children. She hasn't done any other acting after her appearance on What Not to Wear in 2013. My guess is she's enjoying her family. I mean, there's a time to hang up the towel, guys, and it seems that Tina Yothers has done just that where acting is concerned. Kudos to her. Brian Bonzel, the baby of the family, he played the role of the newest addition to the family, arriving in season 5. That is, he arrived in season 5, but his character as Andrew Keaton arrived as a baby in season 3, and then they fast forwarded his age to age 5. But anyway, as a baby, Garrett and Tyler Merriman swapped as playing Andrew Keaton as a baby. Now, his role came about because Meredith became pregnant in real life, and Gary, instead of losing her for the full duration, he decided to go ahead and work her pregnancy into the storyline. For those last 2 seasons he was on Family Ties, his bigger brother Alex was attempting to make him a mini-me of himself. Now, as for now and today, unfortunately, how and where Brian finds himself today is sort of a sad story. I mean, all that he had gone through to get to where he is now. I mean, though he remained busy working after his time on Family Ties, making recurring appearances in the Star Trek The Next Generation series as Alexander Rozhenko, he also starred in Fatherhood, in Blank Check, amongst other guest appearances. But he's had some legal issues that he encountered before he got his life together. I mean, he was arrested, I think it was like 3 times. The first time was for assaulting his then girlfriend. he was sentenced to 2 years of probation, and within that, a couple of years later, he was arrested because of failure to appear in court for those same charges. And then a year after that, he was arrested because of marijuana charges. However, today, we don't want to focus on the negative. Today, he is the husband of his wife, Courtney Tuck, and he's father to their son, and he performs in the band Sunset Silhouette. His last acting role was this year as Dr. Love in what they call You're Melting. And it seems, hopefully, that he's moved beyond the bad in his life. Now, a few popular recurring cast members to the show of Family Ties was Courtney Cox. She was Alex Keaton's second girlfriend, Lauren Miller. And we know Courtney Cox's story since Family Ties. She continued on to do big things in the world of film, such as the popular show Friends, 10 years running as Monica Geller. She also did Cougar Town for 6 years as Jules Cobb, of which she also directed and executive produced Cougar Town. She also played the main character in the movie franchise Scream, one of the main characters in the movie franchise Scream, Gail Weathers. Then moving on to Tracy Pollan as Alex Keaton's first girlfriend, Ellen Reed. She went on to play a significant role in the miniseries The Kennedys of Massachusetts as Kathleen Kennedy. I never heard of it, though. And she also made appearances on Spin City, Law and Order SVU, and so on and so on. It was many. She also starred in TV films such as Bright Lights, Big City. I remember that one. I did like that. A Stranger Among Us, and First to Die. She married Michael J. Fox in 1988, her TV boyfriend, and they now have 4 children together, and she is by his side, helping him in his journey. And lastly, we have Mark Price. He was the nerdy friend of the family. Skippy Handelman had a crush on Mallory for a little bit. And since Family Ties, he's done stand-up comedy. He's dipped into writing and producing as well. He did so on many TV projects that appeared on channels such as Disney, Food Network, Animal Planet, and he also produced the game show Midnight Money Madness. Well, that's all I have on the cast of Family Ties. Look out for my next Where Are They Now 80s showcast. Until then, please be sure to click on that subscription button and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when that video drops. And please be sure to leave your comments on this video and the 80s series you would like to see next. And thank you so much for watching. This is Shell signing out.